Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. My name is Whitney Jenkins, representative of the Tenacious Tau Pi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and we welcome to you to Cooking on a Budget. We are so excited tonight because we are joined by a great member of our sorority who's a part of our graduate chapter, Upsilon Alpha Omega, and she is going to be demoing a cooking demonstration vegan with us tonight. So I'm going to introduce her to you. Carla White believes that healthy food can also be delicious. When she changed to a plant-based diet 4 years ago, she was determined to teach her family about healthier eating habits and changing their family's view about only eating plants. Considering herself to be creative and clever, she began to modify traditional meals with plant-based substitutes. To her family's surprise, and against their will, they loved it. On weekends, Kyra uses creativity to make tasty and healthy plant-based meals. She has been called the guru of salads and smoothies, has been told that she juices like no other. That's a good statement. Shopping for kitchen gadgets is one of her favorite things to do because no one can ever have too many. Kyra is the mother of three, a 27-year-old son, 20-year-old daughter, and a 16-year-old daughter. She loves spending time with her family and friends, traveling, working out, serving the community, and watching football and dancing. Kyra is a proud member of, again, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She holds a master's degree in public policy and is currently pursuing a doctorate degree. Yes, we are tenacious in everything, and we do scholarship, service, and sisterhood. Follow her on Instagram, which we're going to put that in the chat. And again, introducing Soror Kyra White. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Soror. Are you on? Can't see. There she is. There she is. How are you doing tonight? You're muted. Can't hear.
Oh, okay, better. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Great, great. Thank you so much for having me. I am a little nervous, so bear with me. I brought some reinforcement along. I've got my daughter, my 16-year-old daughter, Najee.
Hello.
So she's going to be helping me out here today. She's actually a better cook than I am. So, but we're going to have some fun tonight. So
we're looking forward to it. I know definitely I am looking forward, and I'm definitely getting ready to go explore veganism. So I'm definitely excited for the meal. And what are you going to prepare for us today?
Okay, so today we're going to be making vegan collard green burritos.
Oh, that sounds great. I mean, collard greens, that is a Black home staple, so I'm excited to hear that. Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to spotlight your video, and you could just go into us with ingredients and how to make it.
Okay. All right. So again, we're going to be making vegan collard green burritos. And what you will need to make these burritos are collard green leaves, large collard green leaves. So you want to get these out of your produce section. And then you want to take them, cut the stem out of them, and then soak them, wash them, and then soak them in warm water for about 30 minutes to soften them. We'll also be using walnuts. We have walnuts. We'll be using tomatoes, black beans, cilantro, onions, and we have a cheese substitute, a cashew queso, and avocado. So those are the things that we'll be using tonight for the vegan collard green burritos.
And also to let everybody know that's on the chat and who's watching us on Facebook Live, I'm going to put the ingredients in our chat, and I'm also going to post it on Facebook so you won't miss any ingredients and stuff. We're going to make sure you got them. You can go ahead and take it away, Soror, and your apprentice.
All right. And so another thing that we'll be doing, we'll be creating a dessert. So the dessert will be a smoothie, will be strawberries, pineapple, banana, walnut smoothie. And we use coconut water as the base for this one. So to start off, you want to prepare your collard green wrap you want to wash it. You want to remove the thick stem out of the middle of it, and then you want to cut them in half. So for this, we'll be taking both of these, we'll layer them together. I don't know if you can see, but we'll be layering them here on the cutting board. And then we'll take the walnuts, and these are raw walnuts. And you can use, so walnuts are good for a meat substitute. So I've used walnuts in tacos. I've used them in spaghetti. I've used them in so many different things. If there are any allergies, of course you can use ground turkey or ground beef, but we use ground walnuts. So we take the walnuts and we'll put them in our food processor. You're gonna help me with this, Najee? So Najee's over here helping me with this. Okay, so we've got our walnuts in our food processor. So then Najee's going to add the taco seasoning. So we've chosen Ortega taco seasoning mix. First of all, because we're cooking on a budget, so we don't want to have to go buy all these different spices from the spice area because they're expensive. But the Ortega taco seasoning mix is, it's vegan. So that's why we chose this one. So go ahead and put those in there.
Plus, it's only like $2.
Right. Actually 89 cents, even better.
Is that good?
Yeah, let's add a little bit more. And the good thing about when you're doing vegan cooking, or for any cooking, but for me with vegan cooking, I like strong flavors. So you can just do whatever it is you want to do. It's about being creative. So we're going to add those in the food processor here. And then you want to go ahead and hit it for me? So now she's going to hit the food processor. Okay, I think that's good. So this is a Ninja food processor. It's just a little, you can unplug it, I think. Yeah, so we can reach it. So it's just a little small one that I bought for like $10. And it does really well with just chopping up everything. It holds a lot. So once you do that, you want to go ahead and remove a spoon. Get your spoon, and we'll start layering on the collard green leaf. So
and where can you possibly buy the Ninja processor so I could put it in the chat?
Everyone's favorite place, Amazon.
Okay.
This on Amazon. So we're going to add the walnuts on here. And we like for things to look pretty. So we're a little OCD with lining things up and making them look pretty. So we like to color code and all those other kind of things. Let's add a few more walnuts on there for me, baby. Let's add some more. Okay. Najee's being stingy with the walnuts. Okay, here. So we'll spread those. And so then the next thing we'll add tomatoes. So we'll line our tomatoes up here.
And just a quick add, why are walnuts a good substitute for meat?
Because of the consistency of them. So they don't get soggy. And if you even decide to warm them up, they still stay firm. So sometimes nuts have a lot of oil in them and they'll soften up, but walnuts don't do that. And walnuts are heart healthy. So of course you want to use those. So thanks, that's a good question. Thanks for asking me that.
No problem.
So we've got our tomatoes. We've already chopped our tomatoes up. We use Roma tomatoes because they are, for me, I like the flavor of them, but they're also firm. So when you cut them up, they don't, you know how tomatoes can have the seeds and everything kind of, Roma tomatoes kind of keep their shape. So that's why I like to use those. So then we have cilantro. We bought fresh cilantro. You also, again, you want to pull it out of the produce section, wash it. And then I always lay it on paper towel and let it dry. And so then we'll add the cilantro because Mexican food is not good unless it has cilantro in it.
It's a staple. It's a staple.
Very much so.
All right, onions. So I use red onions. I know a lot of people think they're kind of strong, but red onions are my favorite. They're Najee's favorite too, because I told her they're her favorite. But we also have yellow. You can use yellow onions. You can use green onions. Whatever you choose, you can use them. So we already chopped up our onion. And so we'll add those on here. Just line it up. Here, help me with the spoon. Yeah. And so we're lining them up, but we're keeping it kind of close because when we wrap it, we don't want everything to just kind of smear all over the place. We want to keep it in one place. So the next thing we'll do is add our black beans. So I bought these, the canned organic black beans with no salt added. And I just warmed them up prior to, I just warmed them up. They don't necessarily have to be steaming hot because again, this is a wrap, kind of a salad wrap. So you don't want to have anything hot on top of lettuce or collard greens or anything like that. So we're gonna add our black beans. Let's kind of line that up there. All right. Now, so I took my chapter, Upsilon Alpha Omega, did a cooking class last year. We had a chef and we learned a really, really cool trick. So before I learned this trick, I was the one that was cutting the avocado and using a spoon, trying to dig the seed out. Seed would fly everywhere. Everything would be sliding. So the chef taught us this cool trick. You cut the avocado in half, you take your knife, hit it right in there, twist it, the seed comes right out. So I didn't want to cut the avocado ahead of time because I felt like that trick was cool and you all needed to know that. So we're going to add some avocado to it. Yeah, I guess we can use it. So I'll just spoon. Typically I would slice it, but because I wanted to show you the trick, it's not sliced. So I'm just going to spoon a few little pieces of the avocado out and we'll just add it over here by the walnuts. And there we go. So now, I know this sounds weird, but cashews can be used to make cheese. It can be used to make milk. It can be used to make butter. So this is actually cashew queso. This is spicy cashew queso that we bought from Whole Foods. It is delicious. You can't even tell. The consistency is just like queso. The flavor is nice and strong. It's just really good. So if you're looking for a cheese alternative, try the cashew queso.
Plus, it's like this, like the jar is this big, and it was only like $4, $5.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good investment.
And it's good. We're going through it. So we're going to add a little queso. We just kind of drizzle it across. Now you can also, I love jalapenos. So you can also add jalapenos or anything else, anything that you would put on nachos or tacos. You can also add those. Add that in here. It's just, again, it's whatever you like. Just add it in there. This is just kind of what we did today. So now that we've got everything on top of the green, of the collard green, we're going to go ahead and wrap. Now, Najee's better at this than I am. Hers look much better than mine, so I'm going to leave it to the expert to go ahead and wrap. And where are the toothpicks?
Okay. So to wrap, first you want to take the bottom and the top and pull it towards the middle like this. And then you want to take one of the sides to roll it up and make sure that your stuff doesn't spill out from the bottom. And you want to roll it until it's tightly packed like this. You see, like this.
It's nice and pretty.
Yes. You can also add toothpicks for presentation or just to like keep it all together, because I really hate when my food like falls out while I'm eating it. That's annoying.
So, all right. So we actually made a few of them prior. So we actually have 3 collard green wraps. So now if you want to make a meal out of it, of course you can add chips. You can, I like pinto beans and rice, just whatever it is. You can make a nice little salad on the side. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. It's your food. Be creative with it, however you like it. And I promise you, it tastes so good that you will not miss the meat. You will not miss the cheese. You will not miss the bread. So there you go. So
should we try it?
Sure. You want to go ahead? We'll let Najee try it.
Okay. I'll take the one that I just made.
So she's gonna bite it. How's it? Don't put it back in there.
It has a great crunch to it. Now, I do have a question, because I know there are some people who may not necessarily like collard greens. Is there like a plant-based like breading they can use, and maybe use like romaine lettuce or something instead of using the collard green as a wrap?
Yes, so you can use romaine lettuce. You can also use iceberg lettuce. You would prepare that the same way. You would wash it and soak it in warm water to soften it, and then go ahead and wrap it. Also, they have almond flour. We bought almond flour tortillas, and you can also buy cauliflower tortillas.
And spinach tortillas.
Yeah, spinach tortillas. So any tortilla that you choose, you can, go ahead and do that. I see there's a... What about vegan tortillas? Yeah. So that's the same thing. Whole Foods has them. Kroger has them in their vegan section. They have vegan tortillas, again, made with almond flour, cauliflower, just different things that you can use. And again, you would just take and warm those up. You can put it in a skillet and just kind of warm it up on one side, flip it over just for maybe a minute and a half, no more than 2 minutes, just so that it's not stiff. And then you would just do it the same way. You would wrap it up. So any more questions about that?
Make sure participants, you put your questions regarding the meal or even vegan questions if you want to get some expertise. If you're vegan and you may be struggling or you're getting ready to start, definitely ask questions while you can. So
Absolutely.
Next on our list, you bragged about your smoothie, so I'm looking forward to watching this.
All right, so here's our smoothie, and for the sake of time, so one of the shortcuts that I use is I freeze my fruit because I don't like putting ice in my smoothies. It waters it down. So I freeze it, and then I'll just go ahead and use it as that. Then I'll add whatever liquid base I'm going to. So this time I chose to use coconut water. Most of the time I use water, although you can use almond milk, coconut milk, cashew milk, rice milk, whatever it is you choose. Oat milk.
My personal favorite.
Her favorite is, you're not in the camera. Her favorite is oat milk.
Chobani, to be specific.
Chobani oat milk. But I personally don't like to put milk in my smoothies because to me, it absorbs the flavor. So I would prefer to use just the fruit or like a flavored water, like the coconut water that I put in here is coconut and pineapple. So to me, it makes the flavors pop when you do that. So we do it like that. So it's going to get a little loud because we're going to use the blender real quick. So I don't know if you want to, while we do this, if you want to mute us or if you got somebody wants to sing a song or something like that, do this.
While she's blending, remember, put your vegan questions or any questions you have for her in the message. I mean, this is a grand opportunity to, I'm kind of sad I couldn't cook. I had a final. I was going to cook along with them. But if you do have any questions, because I know I have some, definitely put them in the chat. We're blending.
Okay, we are back. So another thing that I've learned about smoothies, when I first started making smoothies, I would just make green smoothies, spinach, bananas, and call it a day. But then throughout the years, I've just gotten creative. I've learned to use different types of things. So where's that granola? So I'll just kind of visualize what I want to taste. So like if you like a pie or something like that, this is cherry granola, cherry almond granola. So you think, what do I like with cherries? And then you could think maybe a banana or maybe some peaches or something like that. Today, I actually wanted to make a smoothie with pineapple and cranberries and blackberries. But because I had a special surprise, I made this smoothie. So I make this one often. So again, this one is bananas, strawberries, pineapples, and walnuts. So then what we do, we actually have 2 glasses here. But I'm going to use this glass so that you can see. And if we have any left over, I'll put it in the other one. So this is your smoothie. As you can see, it's nice and thick. So you can do it longer if you want. I use I start with 2 different settings on my blender. So the first setting that I use is the milkshake setting. And it makes a difference. I know most people just throw it in the blender and do it, but for me, it makes a difference. It makes a difference in consistency and texture. And so this is the actual smoothie. If you look closely, you can see the strawberry. You could just kind of see some of the grains. If you don't like, you know, if you're not one that likes fiber or to be able to taste pulp or something like that, then you can do it longer just to make it really, really smooth. But I like a little texture to mine. So my absolute favorite thing in the whole wide world, this is my guilty pleasure. This is almond milk whipped cream. And it's so good. So we can't keep it in our house. So again, because this is a dessert, we just spray it on there. In high school, I worked at an ice cream parlor. My favorite thing to do was to play with the whipped cream. So I like to be an expert with whipped cream. And then we have, of course, we have our pink smoothie. We have to have our green straw. So there you go.
Oh my God, that looks so awesome.
Thank you. So here's your dinner. And trust me, it's filling. And you can eat as much as you want without, you don't have the fat, you don't have the salt, you don't have any of those things that are not good for you. And it can be just a nice way to start a healthy lifestyle. So you've got meatless Mondays, you got Taco Tuesdays, you got Wellness Wednesday, and I don't know, whatever else day you want to call it. But there are so many different things that you can do. Just if you're just starting off your journey, or if you just want to try something new, or I know what my daughter does. My daughter who's away in college at Howard University, when she first came home, all she wanted to do was eat Chick-fil-A. But because we don't eat that, she was like, well, I might as well be vegan. Everybody else is. So now she has all of her roommates and they make vegan tacos, and they just do a lot of different things at schools. And she's like, Mom, everybody likes what we're doing. So she said, I'm helping everybody kind of change it. So that's, you know, one of the things that we do, just learn to do something different. So many times we get stuck doing what we learn to do or doing what we know to do, and we don't open our minds to try new things. And so that's why one of the reasons that I started this journey, and I wanted to teach my children the same thing. So I'm working on my son. So say a prayer for my son. He won't leave the chicken alone, but you know, everything else we're good. So do we have any questions?
We did have some questions.
Sure.
We had one question is it true that going vegan is expensive? Because anytime you go to the grocery store, you see like organic or vegan based products are usually a little bit higher than your regular vegetables or fruit or even your junk food. So is it expensive to go?
I haven't found that it is expensive, any more expensive. I buy more vegetables. So in comparison, my grocery bill, where I would buy like different breakfast foods and meats and things like that, those things my grocery bill would be higher. So you can buy a bunch of bananas for $1.30, you know, and you can make smoothies for a week. You can buy strawberries, especially in the summertime, they have strawberries, 2 for $5, something like that. So there is a list. It's called the Dirty Dozen. So it'll tell you which ones that you absolutely must buy as as organic, and what is okay to just wash them off. So in my experience, it hasn't been more expensive. So again, you can buy a bag, like this is a bag of walnuts that I paid $6.99 for. And I've made spaghetti, I've made chili, I've made tacos. Now I just made the collard green wraps, and I still have some left. So, and you can buy a pack of chicken for $20 and only have it for that one night. So that makes a difference.
I said that definitely does, because I do know the meats are not expensive. We had another question. Do you have any vegan snacks that you recommend or your favorites?
There are these really good kale chips at Sprouts. They are so good, and they're really like healthy. They're made of like real kale. I think it's only like kale, orange juice, paprika, and like onion. And like I know it sounds kind of weird, but trust me, just go get them. Just go get them. They're so good.
So, well, as you can see, she loves kale chips. I love, they are by Nature's Bakery. They're fig bars. Oh. So you can get you have the original fig, And then you have blueberry, raspberry, all different kinds, and those are really good. So if you want something sweet, they have that. Whole Foods has vegan chocolate chip cookies. They are so good. And then they have like almond milk ice cream, cashew ice cream, things like that. So
plus, like, I just sometimes just snack on raw fruits. My favorites right now are those little cutie tangerines, and I think those are only like $1, like $1 a pound at Kroger or Publix or Sprouts. So
yeah. So I mean, you can make anything. Another snack we like to do. Grab one. Sweet potato. Sweet potatoes. We keep sweet potatoes in our house, and we just chop them up. We make different sweet potato fries, sweet potato chips, different things like that. We use those in our air fryer. These are not expensive. You see how big it is. We cut it in half, and you can have it for two days or so. So yeah, it's just about being creative. It's not the traditional go grab a bag of chips or something like that. You do have to, I will say, being vegan is not more expensive, but it does take more work because you do have to put effort into what you're doing. It's not the same as just mindlessly going to buy something that's unhealthy. You do have to put, so we don't really eat out a lot. We eat at home because for one, we find that what we make at home tastes better. And for two, we just want to make sure that we're eating what we want to eat. So
definitely a great answer. Now I know this is a big question that a lot of vegans get. What is the difference between being vegan, vegetarian, or just being on a plant-based diet?
Okay, so actually being vegan is you don't use any animal, so you don't wear leather, you don't, all of those things, anything that has anything to do with an animal, that's being vegan. Plant-based is just, it's just what it is. So a lot of people say they're on a plant-based diet, but they'll eat cheese or something like that. Vegetarian is the same thing. So vegetarians, they typically will eat cheese and eggs. Plant-based, they limit those things. Vegan is just strictly just all plants, and I wear just, nothing affiliated with an animal at all.
Now I'm about to say, because I know that's a big question that vegans usually get, and people usually don't know the difference between it. But big question, do you ever miss meat?
Absolutely not. No. So one of the reasons that I decided to go, and we'll say plant-based for the sake of this conversation, or if you notice, that's why I say vegan-ish, just so that I'm not just labeling myself. But one of the things that I've learned is we have to listen to our bodies. And I learned early that I could not digest meat. Like anytime I ate, and I never was a meat eater anyway. I don't like chicken. I just could not stand chicken. I'm not a seafood eater, no shellfish, but I would eat like salmon or turkey. But I would notice that my stomach would just always hurt whenever I would, I just couldn't digest it. And so what started me, I did a Daniel fast at church. We did a fast for 21 days, and I noticed how different my body felt. And so when I did that, that's when I decided I feel better. I'm not going to keep attacking my body by eating things that my body is telling me are not working for me. So no, the answer is no, I don't miss meat at all. Even when I go places and I smell it, it doesn't everybody goes crazy over bacon. That doesn't bother me at all. At all.
So. I said, what about you, Miss Apprentice? Do you miss me?
Well, I don't like my mom. I never really had any cravings for meat as a child. Like most of my life, I just really liked vegetables and fruit. So I guess you could say all of my life, I've been kind of healthy. And yeah, I've been vegetarian for about 4 years now. I don't even eat cheese or milk or eggs that much. I just basically stick to a plant-based diet, and I think like all the facts about meat just kind of like make you want to be like stick to a plant-based diet. And when you learn about like the chemicals that they put in those turkey turkey sandwich stuff,
the lunch meat,
yeah, the
like
lunch meats and stuff, I think it kind of pushed me to become healthier and just want a better lifestyle.
And so it is important to know that, well, it's important for me to say that I never raised my children on meat. Like they never ate pork. They would eat chicken when they got to their grandparents' house, but that was something that was never cooked in my house. And so then my other daughter, she has always been lactose intolerant. So early in their lives, I changed them from traditional cow's milk to plant milk, rice milk, almond milk, and then of course, as of late, the cashew and those other kind of milks. Because again, I just feel like it's important for us to pay attention to our bodies. And one of the things that, without getting too deep with this, is that us in the Black community, for me growing up, it was kind of normal for us to see our elders in wheelchairs or walking around, those things because of their diet, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all those things. And so I worked at a pharmacy when I was 19 years old, and I would see people come in who are my age now, which is, I don't mind telling my age, I'm 48. And I would see people come in at my age saying how they needed their blood pressure pills, their insulin, just all those different things. And then I would see people who were 90 years old coming in, doing their own driving, all those other kind of things. And so I decided that I would do everything that I could in my own power to do to be like the person who didn't need those, things. And I'm not saying that those, of course we have some things that are, genetic and things like that. But if there was anything that I could do to help it, just to not have the conditions that my parents had, then that's what I was going to do. And even more so, I wanted my kids, it took me to become an adult to learn it. So I'm glad that I was able to teach them at a young age to do something different. So
I'm getting a couple of questions elsewhere. Protein. Everybody associates meat with protein. Where do you get your protein when you're on a plant-based or vegan diet?
It's so funny that you asked me that, because that question just went through my mind. This is my favorite question to answer. And the reason I love answering this question is because I ask everybody, where does your protein get its protein from? Do cows eat other protein? Do cows eat animals? Do fish eat animals? All the animals that we eat are typically herbivores. They eat plants. So if a cow can grow to be however big tons, just from eating grass, then we get our protein from plants. So there are several nuts, beans, all those things have protein in it. Peanut butter.
Protein powder.
We use protein powder, which is made out of pea protein. So there are many different ways that we can get our protein from plants.
Okay, another question. Is rice considered like vegan or plant-based? Like, because I know with certain starches like potatoes and stuff like that, it could be hit and miss, but are you able to use like rice? Because I know bread can sometimes get cut out.
Yeah, those are all plants. So plant-based, anything that's not affiliated with an animal is considered a plant.
Okay.
So yes, rice is fine. Of course, there are different options for rice. You have brown rice, you have black rice,
cauliflower rice.
Yeah, you've got cauliflower rice. You can use the mix of brown, black, and some other like wild rice. There are different types of rices. So you don't necessarily have to use white rice. You can use other types of rice. But yes, to answer, the short answer is yes, it's a plant. It's not an animal product.
All right. And before we close out tonight, does anyone else have any questions? Any questions? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. But while we're waiting on another question, definitely I wanted to ask, because I noticed that actually one of our participants, Jaleesa, hey, she put that she notices that she's sleeping better and that she's feeling better after going on a plant-based diet. Go ahead and share your experience, Jaleesa, if you want to sort of get an answer if you want.
Can you hear me now? Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I started eating. Hi, thank you for sharing. I'm gonna try that meal.
Oh, thank you.
But I started plant-based for the last 2 weeks, and I've been using a lot of like seeds. My favorite is almonds because it's a little less fat in pistachios. But I've been getting, like she said, you can get a lot of your protein through the vegetables that you eat as well, because I even tried this new dish with the bell pepper, like a stuffed bell pepper, where you can add different things to that. So you could do a breakfast one or a dinner one, but it's really good. You feel so much better. My energy is through the roof, and my sleep pattern, like I say, has really been so much better because I had problems like her with digesting meat. And so I know I needed to change something in my diet, in addition to having PCOS, and because that turns into diabetes. So just like she's saying, just seeing those health concerns that you see in your family members in previous generations, trying to prevent that. So that is one reason why I tried the plant-based.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Melissa. I had seen your message in the chat, and I wanted to basically allow you the little time and space to tell your story. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. And I'd say the last question I got on another chat is, do you get tired of eating? How do you I know we discussed this a little bit earlier on the chat, is you kind of get blah after you're eating the same thing over and over. How do you switch up the taste if you're just constantly eating plants?
So one of the things that my daughter and I like to do, we hit different vegan restaurants. So we'll go and just say like the other couple months ago, we were just downtown driving around, and we found a restaurant, and it was a cauliflower Philly. I had a Philly that was made from cauliflower. So I think, again, the most important thing is to just be creative. We just recently bought a cookbook. It's called Sweet Potato Soul, because we're preparing for Thanksgiving. All of our family is coming in. We're from Michigan. So our family is coming in from Michigan. And so we wanted to treat them and have vegan, a vegan Thanksgiving. And so you do have to be creative. It's more to life than just salads and smoothies and collard green wraps. People are really creative with them. Again, like I was shocked because cauliflower, I was like, a cauliflower Philly. But when I tell you that thing was delicious, and I don't like mushy food. And so the cauliflower kept its crunch, and it was just really good. And, if you like cheese, there are cheese substitutes that some are better than others. Like we found this queso and we're just like really pleased with it. So you just have to, again, just be creative and just know that there's way more to life than just salads and smoothies. So
the kitchen is your creative outlet.
Yes.
That is a great saying. I'm gonna throw in one question since you said Thanksgiving is coming up. Are you gonna cook any meats for the possible meat eaters, or when they come to your house, it's strictly vegan?
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. My mother-in-law is coming and she's expecting turkey. So I will probably cook turkey just for her. And then my son is also coming. And so backstory, my son lives in Puerto Rico and his girlfriend is Puerto Rican. And so he stayed in Puerto Rico last year for Thanksgiving and was upset because he didn't have traditional Thanksgiving food. So I cannot disappoint him and not cook, the turkey and all that kind of stuff. So I will do that. I'll definitely make the turkey, but what he won't know is that everything else will be vegan. So
sneaky.
And
Hopefully he's not watching.
Right. But I've been practicing. So actually about a month ago, I just wanted some soul food. So I made meatloaf, macaroni and cheese, and collard greens, and it was completely vegan. So I used the Beyond Meat. I used smoked Gouda.
The Daya.
Yeah, the Daya brand smoked Gouda. to make the macaroni and cheese. And, you know, of course, the greens, I just didn't have to put any meat. I just made sure that they were seasoned really well. And I had one of my friends, because I had made too much. So I just called her and said, come get this. And so she took the rest of it home and she gave it to her husband. Her husband didn't even know that it was vegan. So we tricked him. So, yes. So we like to do fun things like that. We like to, like the other day I made some chili, and my cousin I'm eating meat, I don't care. And I made chili, it was completely vegan. And I gave it to her and she's like, I didn't even miss the meat. I said, of course, because when you season it right and you have everything, you know, the vegetables and those things like that, you know, once you realize that it's more about flavor, then that part is what can keep you on your path to veganism, plant-based, whatever you want to call it. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for our demo for tonight. I'm definitely going to try the recipe. And of course, I told you I was going to call you to actually get some help with my journey starting. Yes, but definitely go ahead and tell everybody both of your Instagram handles if you want them to follow you.
Sure. So if you want to follow me, you can find me at Kyra.Kyra, and my vegan page is freckled and veganish. So freckled and vegan.ish. So, and I like to put a different thing, you know, different things that I do, different supplements that I take. You may see an exercise picture or two, but if you want ideas, recipe ideas, freckled and veganish will be the one. You can find me, you can click on the link in the bio to get to either one of my Instagram pages.
All right, if everyone can unmute and give a round of applause to Soror Kyra for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you all for having me.
I gotta hear enough claps. I gotta hear enough claps in the chat. Come on.
Thank you all. Thank you everybody for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. And Jessica, just a quick note, you did a great job. No nervousness. You knew what you was talking about. You delivered your message. It was great. And thank you so much on behalf of Tau Pie, and to give this message to the Overthrow Petrels. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for tonight.
Again, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
You're welcome. Remember, go follow her on IG. Look forward to tomorrow, because we got 3 HBCU schools that did shout out messages and letting us know about their schools. The rest of our ski week is going on. Have a good night. Be safe, everybody. Wash your hands, social distance, and wear masks.
All right. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.